Well, good morning. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be making a video on the Trailblazer again. But as of right the moment, we got to shuffle some stuff around because it's 7 out. See that? 7. Trailblazer's over there. Hasn't moved in a couple days. It's been out into some frigid temperatures. So we'll see if it even starts. And we need some garage space. The Impala's in bay number uno. Angus is in bay number dos. So we gotta pull Impala out, put it over there. And then we gotta put a truck over there. And then we gotta get Trailblazer into there. So enough yapping, let's get to it. Sounds like a woodpecker, and we got the ha-ha birds up. Cool. Means spring's almost here. Well, the lovely Impala's been sitting in here on the trickle charger for the last day or so. Hopefully she starts. I'll fire her up, let her run, and blow some cobwebs out while it's outside for a hot minute. And get the Trailblazer in here. It's actually not too bad. It's 30, according to my little Gidgemagoo thing up there. But, yeah, it's dirty too. Most of the snow melted off of it. Hopefully soon, I'm going to get a detail video out. I want to go through and show everyone how to fix little chips like that. I put some touch-up paint in it, but that's obviously a pretty good blemish that I have on the hood here. And you can see those kind of line scratches there in the light. I'm going to buff those out. And we'll try to get rid of some orange peel here. And we'll see. I'll go through and do a detail video and make it nice and pretty. But let's get it outside. Start opening up the garage. Don't forget, when you got cleaners on there, you got to move them. Alright. Let's see. Cold start on the Impala. Ugh. Fired right up. Kind of like I had it on a charger or something. Huh. Well, that's neat. Let's back her out. Let her run outside so we're not getting fumed out. Careful. Careful. Carefuler. Quicker but carefuler. Don't hit anything. Don't make more work for yourself. No more work for myself. So we got the pickup truck behind us. We don't want to hit that. But we also need to make sure, because my driveway is on a stupid angle, that we're not just peeling out the tires, because these tires don't really do well in the snow. Oh yeah, we're just spinning. Well, whatever. We got there. So seesawed it over, let that run for a minute. Got to pull the truck back over behind it, and then go get Trailblazer. So no leaks from the Impala, that's nice. Had last year quite a big leak. Well, maybe that's a leak, damn it. Okay, so cold start on the Blazer of Trails. I just got snow in my shoe. See a little frozen girl. You gonna start or you gonna die? You started. So today's video is gonna be figuring out the leakage on the four-wheel drive of this thing. Also, fixing the actuator because it only blows out the vents and not the defrost, which is not terrible, but your feet go frozen. So I want to do the bi-level split stuff and fix that. So that's what we're going to do today. Ready and go. Plus, I got new hyper blades, and also magically I ended up getting, what else did I get for this thing? I don't know. I got more stuff I got to do to it, like always. Oh yeah, we got to get underneath and weld up the exhaust because the exhaust has a leak on it, so we want to fix that. So I got asked how I heat my garage. I've done it a couple different ways over the years, but this year doing it a little differently. I got a couple space heaters, and by a couple I mean 4, that I just crank it on. I have 2 little portable ones like that. Then I got some infrared wall mounted ones like so. They're pretty simple. Just click them on and they go. I got a remote for them too, but yeah, it's just as easy. But you can see it's cold in here because we dropped from 30 down to 26 with having the door open. So we gotta let it warm up. Doesn't do too bad when it warms up in here. I mean, 45, 50, which is enough for a hoodie. But we'll let it get raw warmed up, and got some stuff I gotta take care of here and be back in a minute. So first thing we're gonna do is, before the car gets all drippy and wet, is we're going to jack it up, and I'm gonna weld up the exhaust. Always want to take off unhook the battery cables. I don't know, welding sends some weird signals through the car, some electrical stuff, so you always want to do that so you don't fry out your ECM or any of that kind of stuff. So getting a good practice of doing that. So we're going to do that first and see where we get to. So dig around. I'm pretty sure 8mm is the size of that battery terminal for GMs. Is it? Oh, maybe it's just stripped out because look at that. You usually want to take off the negative side so you don't accidentally go like and arc out the positive and make connection, and then what happens is this becomes a light bulb filament. It turns really bright orange. It's pretty cool, but I don't really feel like burning this thing down today and then burning down the garage, so just be careful when you do this. Take off the negative side if it's not stripped. If it is, then just grab pliers or vice grips or the adjustable wrench. Come off! Didn't mean to get loud there on you, but sometimes you got to get after them. So I kind of like to just wedge the jack underneath there and start jacking the car up, and listen for creaking or crunching, any of that kind of stuff, because that's usually bad, but to be expected on the junk that I like to work on. I think I should be able to get my dad bod underneath there. Might as well go a little higher. I also like to use an oversized chunk of wood to exert the jack further than what it's designed to do. So that's a little tidbit there for you. So today's creeper is brought to you by It's Cold Out. Harbor Freight flavor. Let me get you under here and show you where we're welding. All right. have to go a little higher. Anyway, right between there, it's leaking. So we're gonna put a nice bead right through there. Replace this donut gasket here, and I should have welded it up while I was under here. Turned out that there's a leak coming through right there. So we're gonna address that. We're gonna weld it up. So I got welded up the exhaust, next order of business. I got off the plug there for the front differential. I got it, as you can see, cleaned up, soaked down. It was leaking pretty good. So I don't know if it's that seal or if it's that plug that I welded up and crudely put back on. It's kind of looking like it's seeping. I got a new one coming today. And the bottom drain plug right there, she was leaking a little bit too, just a normal drip. But I want to say that the majority of my leak is going to be from that, because you can see I had to weld on a nut, which was, like I mentioned, crudely done. But the brake clean is sprayed on there, and it looks like it's still seeping out. So got the new one coming. We're gonna wait till it comes, top it off, put the new cap on, see what it does, and hopefully that slows down my leak. I really don't want to do a axle seal on this thing, but if I gotta do one, I gotta do one. But we'll try this first, see what it does. I'm pretty confident that it's that plug that's crap. Anyway, moving on to the actuator. So my last video working on this thing, I of course installed those and tapped into my fuse block back here with this relay setup and everything else. I unhooked the positive lug there. So I disconnected all the power to this. Well, what this is, it's kind of your fuse block that you normally would have on standard GMs up on the side dash, which would be right here, and you just plug and play all your fuses in there. Well, it's back there, and what happened is I cut power to the HVAC system, heating and cooling. So go to power everything back up, and as I powered it back up, I go to start it, and there was severe clicking. Now, there is a process. I just put the battery back on. You can see my clock's at 12:03. The HVAC system has to go through a reset process, and it usually takes like, I think, 90 seconds or something like that to go through, recalibrate. It recalibrates the actuators, which I can kind of hear them in there moving around. So I'm gonna let this recalibrate, because I just put power back on and it's not clicking, and if I don't have to tear into this thing immediately, I'm gonna not. But I'm pretty sure that it's gonna end up clicking here. And I have a new actuator plug in there. And what happens is there's a motor in there, there's a stop sensor, and some gear worms. Here, those gear worms, they strip out, which turns this for the flapper door. Or the stop sensor goes out, so the thing just sits there and constantly goes click, 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 and spins. And I think that's what mine was doing. Common issue, they're relatively inexpensive. You can hell even rebuild these things, but I got one. We're gonna see what this thing does here in a second. And yeah, so I guess calibration step, once you have the battery unhooked and you rehook it to any of these Trailblazers, whether it's the front or you pull a fuse, don't touch anything with the HVAC system. Just leave it as is. Turn your key to the Akaka position, so it's like this, and you let it go for 90 seconds, which we're already 2 minutes into this. So it'll relearn, recalibrate. And then to get it to stop, you start it. And if it's recalibrated, everything will be fine. But if not, it'll click because it's screwed up. Going through, turn it on. I turn it to blower because my problem is it was just blowing out the vents and it was blowing out of the defrost. I wasn't getting the floor or anything else, so it was a flapper in there. So now I got it on defrost. There's nothing coming out of there, and it's just coming out of the defrost. Let's see what happens when we go to, well, I guess the recalibration worked, because now it's working. Let's see if we're getting anything coming out of the floors, which we are. Turn it now to a little bi-level. It's coming out of the vents and it's coming out of the floor, so maybe that's all I needed to do was recalibrate it again. Huh. Well, that's good. For me anyway. I guess relatively quickly while I'm here, the way to get in here, let me grab my light. So the way to get in there is you take this kick panel off, take this bottom panel off right here, and then you're going to have this vent tubey majigger, and that's where your floor heat comes from. This comes down, pops straight down. It's got a little plastic clip on it. And that clip, remove it, pull it out of the way. And then those actuators are right up there. Now, if you've ever put in a custom stereo in a GM new head unit, had the dash part anywhere unit in there, just kind of going like this with twisty bolts, it's doable. Everyone says you can't, you have to rip the whole dash apart to get to them because the way that those sensors are, or actuators are, they're like right here in the middle of the dash. Well, if you rip the stuff off from underneath, you can get right up in there. You're going to be kind of pinching it, but it's a hell of a lot easier to do that than it is to rip the whole dash apart, including dealing with airbags and removing the holes. It's just, do it from underneath. So mine's going on the shelf. I have a feeling it's going to go out, but right now it's working. So good deal. So next order of business, I popped the gas door off for 7 mils. Thankfully I did, because you know it flopped, it just stayed open, but the spring's missing. Pretty simple. The reason I say good thing I did is the pin that's holding it on is about to, it's on its last legs. So I don't have a pin, but I'm going to improvise. I'm going to crisp it. We're going to cut that off, and I'm going to utilize some kind of a screw or something. Now we're going to put the spring back in it, if that doesn't fall apart. Go from there. So there we go. Clean that little guy up with some, I don't know, the wire cleaner. Spritzed it with some rust converter paint. That's what I came up with for a pin. I think it's some kind of a furniture screw or something. Found a washer, some Loctite, and of course one of the drywall anchors. I mean, if it works, is it really a dumb idea? That's what I thought. Next thing, I got to figure out how to put the spring back on, where I'm going to put it. Okay, well that's fixed. It'll stay closed now. Put a spring on there with some Loctite, zipped it in there, and yeah, whatever. Good enough for the girls we date, right? So now we're gonna go underneath and we're gonna try to get this spare tire off. It's kind of stuck, does a little turny thing and doesn't ever come undone. So got some tricks I'm gonna try, and then if not, we're gonna yank it off. Well, calling it a night. I failed with the spare tire carrier. It needs to be hacked off. I didn't film any of it because I was getting frustrated, so ordered up a new one of those. Got kind of cold out. Decided to call it a night. So it's gonna have to get hacked off. And judging by how corroded up the spare tire is, I'm probably gonna have to get a replacement. So anyway, got a lot accomplished. My plug came in, put that in there, and now we're out test driving this thing to see what kind of leaks it has. If it has any leaks, I'll come back, and if not, then hopefully I fixed it. So check back in with you and wrap this video up. Okay guys, so I got the leak slowed down. As you can see, I'm driving the Trailblazer. I got it in 4. It's not blinking or anything like that. So the front seal did have a little bit of a leak on it. Nothing that I can't manage through. But I just wanted to take you out on this road and kind of show you the lighting on it. It's kind of a last follow-up from that storm chasing video. You know, these are the brights that are on. There's the dims. I mean, that's just really dark. And of course, we're in the middle of the UP, but you get out some of those random places where there's no power because you get a tornado come through and you're just trying to navigate stuff, which this isn't terrible, but here's when I flip on my lights. You can see how much more lit up everything is. So definitely can check out for like power lines or any other fallen debris that might come flying at you, or just hell, even watch the storm with the lights on. So get close. Smell the axle fluid. I'm gonna go run to the parts store, grab a seal and some other stuff, and you know, maybe fix on it a little bit. Show you how bad it's leaking from just sitting here. These air fresheners are dead, they stink. Dispose on them. But that's how much fluid's leaking. It's not good. Driveway had a nice little dribble in it. So let's go find some parts, shall we? Ready, set, go. So I'm just leaving my favorite store. Best part of working on junk all the time is I always got to come here and buy some random odd tool, you know, like a new seal puller or a seal install kit. So at least I'm stocking up on my tools. So mine actually, they got their name changed. It's Bore Freight now. Huh. So the other store I ended up hitting up was AutoZone. Got my part, the wheel seal. Actually, they had the one that I wanted, wasn't in stock, but I got the other one anyway, just to see. My luck, it'll probably go back together and be leaking worse than to start with. I know I'm gonna get into something when I get into this wheel seal or axle seal, because I gotta pull off the control arm, or not the control arm, the steering linkage has got to come off, pop the castle nut off. That's usually not a problem. I got to take the sway bar link off. That's usually a problem. I don't think I have any spares on the shelf. I used to, but I don't anymore, I don't think. So that'll be the next thing that breaks, and I'll be kind of SOL. These roundabouts in Marquette, I can't get them. I don't understand why. Well, I get them. I don't understand why people don't. They go like a deer in the headlights, and they're just like, what do I do? Anyway, so I'm fully anticipating on some more parts breaking on this thing that I'm gonna have to replace. Suspension parts, because the salt belt of Michigan. So I guess stay tuned for a video on, hey Subaru, a video on how to do that, maybe? I don't know. So guys, that's gonna wrap this video up. Look forward to a Trailblazer video on fixing that axle seal, and like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Dude.